This is question number 21. It says that two football players with masses 75 and 100 kilograms run directly towards each other with 6 and 8 meters per second, respectively. If they grab each other and collide, so this statement right here should cue you that this problem is an inelastic collision. And in inelastic collision, we know that momentum is conserved and kinetic energy is not conserved. We're going to make a momentum statement. Let's just write this as momentum initial in the system equals momentum final in the system. The momentum of the player on the left-hand side is going to be written as m1v1, and the player on the right-hand side is going to be written as m2v2. And then when they hit and stick together, we know that momentum has to be the same. So I'm going to write it as m1 v1 plus m2 v2. And I'm going to use this prime next to the velocity variable to remind us that this is the velocity after the event, after they collide. Impulse and momentum are vectors, and so we have to keep sign convention straight. The mass of player number one is 75. I'm going to leave the units off here to make this visually a little easier to see. And the speed of that player is 6 meters per second. And the player on the right, we're adding, but this is going to be a negative number. It's 100, but the velocity, which is 8, has to be negative 8 to the left. So these two have opposite signs. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to make a critical substitution. I'm going to say that it's m1v final plus m2v final. And the reason that I do that is because if their final velocities are the same, it doesn't make sense to use a different variable to describe the same number. So since they hit and stick, as we kind of saw up here, that velocity value is the same. So on the right-hand side, I can factor out VF. This becomes M1 plus M2. So we have a binomial here, and we factored out the VF. I can go ahead and substitute M1 plus M2. That's going to be 175 times VF. On the left-hand side, I'm going to multiply these, and I'm going to get 450 here, and I'm going to get negative 800 here. And when I do that, I can see that there's more momentum going to the left in the negative direction. And so I'm going to get negative 350 as my total momentum. I'm going to divide that both sides by 175, and we can see that I'm going to have a final velocity after the collision of 2 meters per second. They're asking about speed, so it's a scalar quantity, which is why the negative sign doesn't matter, and our correct answer is A.